NNY360 is our new news website for the North Country.
It's your school board, it's your police blotter, it's the news about your neighborhood, it's the news about your neighbors, it's the news of your community. And it doesn't matter whether you live in Lowville, or Adams, or Watertown, or Waddington, or Ogdensburg, or Clayton, or Alexandria Bay, we report in all of those communities.
With the daily paper moving into NNY360, this is the evolution of delivering the product that we're already delivering to the community.
We publish what we have when we have it, because if we know the news, you should have the news too.
The Watertown Times dates back to the publication in 1851 of the Weekly Reformer. The newspaper became a daily newspaper 6 days a week in April of 1861. Its name was changed to the Watertown Daily Times about 7 or 8 years later, from the Daily Reformer to the Daily Times. And it has been published continuously as a daily newspaper since April of 1861.
We've got a great 160-year legacy at the Watertown Daily Times in print. It's no secret that there's been a decline in print circulation, but there are more people on a daily basis reading the news than we ever have had in our history.
I think the rebranding of NNY360 says that we're willing to take risks to leverage our existing brand of the Watertown Daily Times into something that is broader and more regional. We look to the future for all kinds of different ways to tell stories.
It's been many months in the making. We decided to combine all our digital efforts into one website. In the past, each publication had its own website that was linked together through the Watertown Daily Times. Now readers have the opportunity to move back and forth between counties. Now, what does this mean for print readers? It means that by the time a print story arrives at your doorstep, it'll be a more developed, better story. The launch of NNY360 does not mean the Watertown Daily Times is going away. In fact, it means the Watertown Daily Times is going to be stronger and a better source of reporting.
Watertown Times has been part of the Johnson family since my grandfather, Harold Johnson. He came from Gouverneur, New York, and he was a young newspaper reporter who traveled in the far west. He came back and went to work at the Watertown Times and immediately started acquiring its stock. He really got control of the business when he became the managing editor, and I think it was about 1907. My grandfather continued his role as editor and publisher of this newspaper until his death, and at his death, my father, John B. Johnson, took over at age 32 years old with not a lot of preparation.
I'm the fourth generation in this business. I feel very fortunate to be the steward of a community asset like this. It's integral to the community. It's a community asset, and I think it makes the community stronger.
I think that the North Country was really lucky to have the Johnsons create what they did so long ago, from the establishment of Channel 7 to the paper. The underlying theme there is that there is a delivery of local news content to the people in our community. It's always about the community. It's about keeping people educated on what is going on, no matter what medium it comes from.
I hope the Watertown Daily Times is a mirror of the community. I hope it's a steady place where they can turn to understand what's happening and why. I hope it is and remains a trusted source of news and information. It's important for a community to have a local newspaper, whether it's in this community, in this newspaper, or elsewhere in the country, because every day there are stories to be told. The paper will be in print for 6 days a week with the best information every day that we can report, but the website will be there always. Every day of the week, every hour of the day, if something happens, we can report it.